Good morning, I'm Charles Lejano and this is One News Now. President Duterte is appealing to the public to skip the usual revelries and Christmas gatherings in light of the subsisting threat of COVID-19. The chief executive apologized to the public for what he calls necessary curtailment in the usual holiday traditions for just this one Christmas. Earlier, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III warned against getting too complacent during the holidays. Authorities have been cautioning the public for months that the post-holiday surge in COVID cases is highly possible. Health officials clarified that large family reunions fall within the ambit of prohibited mass gatherings. Thus, holidays should only be spent with immediate family members who may still attend Simbang Gabi virtually.
Ngayon pa lang, we are saying sorry that there will be a curtailment of so many things that you have been used to during Christmas time. You have had so many Christmas blowouts and parties. Itong kaisa-isa lang. This is one Christmas, the only Christmas maybe that government will interfere in your private affairs.
Valenzuela City Mayor Rex Gatchalian warns NLEX management that he will impose tougher sanctions against the company should they decide to resume operations today. In a tweet, Gatchalian vowed to revoke the business permit of Metro Pacific Tollways if the local government finds out that the company reopens its business prematurely. Recall that Gatchalian personally served the suspension against NLEX at 5 p.m. yesterday for failure to submit an action plan to address its RFID collection system. Speaking with One News' The Chiefs, Metro Pacific Tollways spokesperson Romulo Kimbo Jr. admitted that their existing system is still not perfect. They are appealing for understanding from both the public and the LGU as they work to keep glitches to a minimum.
Totoo pong meron hindi nababasa, but from a technical point of view, from a technical standpoint, there are standards and there are metrics naman on whether or not these transactions, this scanning, which happen thousands of times at the toll lanes or the toll gates, they have a metric. And our metric tells us that we are meeting the metric. But whether it is customer-friendly or not, that's a different issue.
On the other hand, INFRAWATCH Philippines convener Terry Ridon says the Transportation Department is accountable for the traffic mess in NLEX. Ridon claims this should not have been a problem if the DOTr had given enough time for companies to transition to a cashless toll system.
Parang talaga hong itsura nung August 2020 order, parang sinabi na lang ho talaga dito na, by November 1, game na yan cashless transactions na tayo. Bahala kayong maghabol, kung wala pang technology, hindi na namin problema yan. Problema na ng toll operators yan. Kung kailangan nyo magpuntang RFID stations, hindi na namin problema yan, basta pumila kayo. So, basically, I think some tinge of parang admission man lang na medyo sumobra ho tayo dun, boss. Sana gawin mo ng gobyerno.
Meanwhile, Kimbo said RFID operators are set to conclude testing on the interoperability of Easy Trip and Auto-Sweep systems by the end of the year. If proven compatible, motorists will be able to have 2 RFID wallets in a single sticker, which can be used in all existing tollways in the country. Circling back to our top story, the president said he just realized the importance of widespread testing. To discuss this and other issues raised by the president in his address, we have Maricel Halili. She's reporting live from Mandaluyong. Maricel, good morning. Since the start of the pandemic, we have various groups that have been imploring the government to implement free mass testing. Is the president finally willing to do this?
Yes, Charles, good morning. It has actually always been part of the plan of the government to impose mass testing. Actually, we've been doing this since the start of the pandemic. But the problem is the issue on supply. Now that some of the private sectors, as well as, well, in partnership with the government, has already secured a few doses of vaccines, it seems that there's more optimism when it comes to achieving the target of the government. As we all know, the target is to initially immunize at least 60 million out of 110 million Filipinos nationwide. But the primary concern now of the president is the price of the swab testing. But because of the issuance of an executive order imposing a price tag to swab test, it is much easier for ordinary people to pay for the swab test. As far as I can remember, for private sectors or private laboratories, they can only ask for roughly around 4,500 pesos per swab test. And for government laboratories, I think the average is around 3,400 or 3,800 if my memory serves me right.
Right, good to hear mass testing closer to becoming a reality, but then let's move on over to another issue that's been hitting our news lately. The president said he's now considering rearming cops with batons. What is the reason for this?
Actually, he's considering to give another baton or buying baton to police officers, but he doesn't want the use of baton made out of wood. He wants it rubberized so that the police can easily hit the target, or if there's a criminal that they need to arrest, they can choose to use baton instead of firearms. The logic here is that the tendency of the police is that if a criminal ran away, they can easily shoot the criminal. And to save lives, according to the president, it's better if the police have their batons, rubberized baton, so that instead of using their firearms, they can just use the baton to hit the criminal and arrest them right away. Now, the plan of the Interior Department is to, well, disseminate batons to the police officers made out of yantok. But this is to impose or to ensure that we are actually implementing social distancing, just to measure that social distancing is being implemented, not to hit the people who are not following the minimum health standard.
Yeah, but at the same time, the government is leveling up its baton game. Again, President Duterte also declared that there will be no more ceasefires with the NPA for the rest of his term. Does this mean that the government is completely giving up on peace talks?
Well, Charles, the president has repeatedly said that he doesn't have any patience anymore when it comes to the Reds, to the Communist Party. And so I remember, I think it was several months ago, he mentioned that he doesn't want to have another peace talks with the Communist Party of the Philippines, with the New People's Army. And so this is a reiteration of that statement. During his public address last night, he mentioned that he doesn't want to have any ceasefire this holiday because, as we all know, it's the tradition between the army, the military, and the Communist Party to declare unilateral ceasefire every holiday truce. To ensure that there will be peace during the Christmas season. But now the president is being faithful with his initial statement that there won't be any talks between the government and the NPA. So, well, he said that there won't be any ceasefire this holiday season.
All right, Marcel, let's move on now to the wife of former Iloilo Mayor Jed Mabilog taking to social media to slam the president for mentioning Mabilog's name during his November 30 address. Could you kindly remind us what the president said back then and what he said this time in response to Marivic Mabilog's social media rant?
Actually, Charles, during his speech recently, he reiterated the names of some of the politicians involved in the narco list, and one of those is Jed Mabilog of Iloilo. He mentioned that the ombudsman has already decided to dismiss him from the office because of grave misconduct and dishonesty for being involved in allegedly involved in the illegal drugs. So he reiterated it during his speech last night. Aside from Mabilog, he also mentioned some other names who are also listed, not just in illegal drugs, but also in corruption.
All right, thank you for those updates. Maricel Halili reporting live from Mandaluyong. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. And you can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.